Council. I'd ask you to turn your cell phones on silent or any other electronic devices, and we will begin. I'm calling this meeting to order, and we will begin with a moment of silence. Thank you. We will now recite the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilmember Barnes. Reed. Here. Brown.
Here.
Lawler.
Here.
Spicer.
Here.
French.
Here.
And Mayor Brown.
Here. Are there any council member comments this evening at this time? Councilmember Lawler.
I just want to say Happy New Year's to everybody, and I hope the Lord keeps you, bless you, and preserve you. And I just want to give my condolences to the mayor in the loss of his grandfather.
Thank you. Any other comments from council? Okay. Seeing none, we will move on to presentations. At this time, I guess there's a representative from the AmeriCorps Vista Albion Forward Survey. Danielle? And Morgan, I'm sorry.
You're fine. Good evening, Council. My name is Morgan Hall, and I'm the AmeriCorps Vista leader for the AmeriCorps Vista team in town.
And, I'm Danielle Nelson. I'm working on the Economic Opportunities team as part of the Vista team this year. And I'm here at City Hall.
So we're going to talk to you a little bit about AmeriCorps Vista, give you a refresher. We have not met this current City Council. We met the previous one. So welcome, and thank you for having us. And then we're going to give you a little bit of a brief overview of the survey that we are conducting for Albion, and that kicks off tomorrow. So we just want to let you know what was going on with that, and then as well as allow Albion residents to be brought up to speed on that as well.
And so part of the year one goals that we have for AmeriCorps Vista, so the goal of Vista is to build capacity for different nonprofit organizations within the community, including the city of Albion, as well as healthcare providers and whatnot. And so part of the one way in which we hope to build the capacity of those organizations is through collecting data that these organizations wish they had on the community. So really trying to identify some of the needs, but also the assets in the community that can be built on. And so that is the point of this survey that we'll be conducting through March 31st. And so what Morgan is passing out now is the flyer with more information, as well as an example, or the survey itself. And so we have some dates coming up as well in City Hall that we will be conducting the survey, and so we'll be here actually this Thursday and Friday, the 5th and the 6th, as well as next Thursday and Friday, the 11th and, or I'm sorry, the 12th and the 13th, and we'll also be here Tuesday the 17th and the following Friday. So.
And then if you want to take the survey with us either online, if you're looking at the flyer, and for those of you in the audience, there is a link down at the bottom that's www.surveymonkey, or a QR tag that you can scan with your phone. If you would fill that out either on that medium, if you want to do it a different way, you can come to the Ludington Center, which is right next door, right in front of us, this way, to the right. And you can meet a Vista member there and talk a little bit about more of your vision with us. You can find us at any locations like Danielle mentioned. You can look for our shirts. Danielle's also wearing one. We have a blue shirt that says AmeriCorps Vista on it as well. If you have any questions or comments or concerns about it, please reach out to us. This is an envisioning survey, and we just want to get your input, the City of Albion residents' input, so we can do what you want to do. So, yeah.
Yes, so please encourage everyone to take it, and as Morgan said, we'll be at a number of locations throughout the city, even Family Fair this weekend if you're doing some shopping. So.
Awesome. Any questions? Yes.
I would presume that there are particular areas that you're focusing on in the survey?
Yes, so this survey is covering the areas of education with an emphasis on kind of the Marshall Public School annexation, healthcare access, food access, and then economic opportunity, which is a whole slew of things.
Access to jobs or different types of job trainings that people would like, and also resources for businesses.
So it is a 26-question survey with basic demographics, just asking your gender, age, and then income at the end. So that is it.
At these places where you're going to be, are you going to have these there for people to do then, take home, or how are you gonna work that?
So we have the online version, which is on the flyer. We have paper copies if you want to do it with us, or you can take it home with you and bring it back to either Ludington Center or to City Hall. And then we're trying to figure out a couple different locations, kind of widespread around the town. And then,
So yeah, so when we do post up at locations as well, you can either take it online right there on one of our laptops, or you can do the paper copy as well. Any other questions?
Thank you for your
All right.
time.
Thank you. We will move on now to citizens' comments. Persons addressing the city council shall limit their comments to agenda items only. Oh, okay, I guess I had found old one. I'm sorry. For presentations, item B, introduction and oath of office for Officer Kyle Wilson. We'll have the chief come up and
Chief Scott Kipp, Albion Public Safety. I'd like to introduce Officer Kyle Wilson to all of you. Officer Wilson comes to us from Benton Harbor Public Safety, where he was cross-trained public safety officer for the last 2 years. Prior to that, he worked in Litchfield and for the Hillsdale County Sheriff's Department. He's originally from Litchfield and went to school in Litchfield, so he's from not too far away, and just like to welcome him into the community, and if Jill wants to come up and swear him in.
okay.
I, Kyle Wilson,
I, Kyle Wilson,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support
that I will support
the Constitution
the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and of this state,
and of this state,
and that I will,
to
to the best of my ability,
the best of my ability,
faithfully and impartially,
faithfully and impartially,
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
of Albion Public Safety Officer.
of Albion Public Safety Officer.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Welcome. We look forward to working with you. So, okay, citizens' comments. Again, persons addressing city council shall limit their comments to agenda items only. We ask that you give proper decorum during that in the 5-minute maximum. If there are any citizens' comments on the agenda, we'd ask you to come forward, state your name and address. Okay. Seeing none, we will move on to the consent calendar. We'll do these, I guess, in a batch. For the approval of special council session minutes, December 12th, 2016, approval of regular session minutes, December 19th, 2016, approval of the study session minutes, December 19th, 2016, and approval of the special council session minutes for December 28th, 2016. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Support.
Moved and supported. We will have a voice vote on that. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That's approved. Items for individual discussion. Agenda item A, discussion of the single hauler process. I know the manager has, let's see if I can find it here, distributed a comparison chart, so I'm sure the council people have that, so I'll let you start.
Okay, Mayor and Council, if you recall, we had an extensive review and entertainment of how to move forward with an RFP process for a single hauler, and I shared with you some of the history, and thank you, Councilmember Spicer. I have to be used to using last name, sorry, Spicer, because she did bring to my attention just this afternoon that the new members did not have the full details related to the history. So you have a copy of that. Also, what you should have is a copy of the proposed contract with Granger, as well as the consolidation of the bid prices that we did receive from those who participated. So I don't know if you had any specific questions, and Jim Leonardson, the Director of Department of Public Services, is here as well if you have specific questions.
Thank you. I will, oh, Councilmember Waller.
With, this, the single hauler is Granger, right? So, do they have any, have we checked out if they have any benefits for, veterans or disabled veterans? Because some people in the community, they get a discount for being in that category.
That I don't know. I can check on that, though, with Granger and see.
Oh, Councilmember French.
I'm not sure if we had arrived at a decision of which one of these bids that Granger has given us that we would adopt. So,
And we might have to have a study session just with the new council, so if they have any, concerns. 'Cause I think one of the background on this issue is the city offers a particular service in terms of lease pickup, and the fund that, funds that service has over time started to become depleted, and we've been looking for options for maintaining that service, and so this was a potential option where it would kill multiple birds with one stone. We could offer more frequent yard waste pickup. We could enable the city from an ordinance enforcement perspective to kind of keep track on who's actually using garbage service, because that is a requirement in the city by ordinance. And then also to make sure, the big thing for residents is to make sure potentially get lower costs. And so if we could do all those with one policy, implementing a policy, then that would be smart. But I think we received bids from Granger, Republic, Waste Management, and Granger was the lowest of the bids that we received from those companies. So, are there any other, Councilmember French?
right, so if we had conversations under previous council that because we have a county recycling center, that if we were to not have recycling at door pickup, and what you've been given has two options, either weekly pickup, which is $34.20 a week for every other week pickup for one container, or $27.45 for a bag that picks up weekly. But if you remove that from the bid, and you just go with the least expensive option 2 for the curbside yard waste hauling of $13.95, and the $26.55, which is the rear yard service that we have now, that people who have garbage pickup have now, that works out to $40.50. And I unless you call and get special dispensation from individual haulers, you're not gonna beat that price. And I've had both Reliant and Waste Management, and both times the rates creep up every quarter. And they keep adding things. And you call them when you realize, crap, I'm paying $95 for waste, and they go, oh, we're having a special, and we're gonna lower it to $35. And so that tells me that those haulers are, they fix the squeaky wheel, but they're still trying to make as much money as possible. So the single hauler contract, because it's a city contract, is frozen at that price for 3 years, and that's what Granger's given us. So I guess, I understand you might think we might need a study session, but I think we can probably decide right here if we want to have recycling or not. And then we get, I don't think it's a terribly difficult decision about yard waste.
Yeah, I think the lower price includes, we should just be clear about that. It includes garbage pickup and yard waste.
That's right.
So,
Right, $40.50 for the 6-bag limit every other week.
go ahead.
I
just wanted the council to be clear, what was in your original packet is not the version that contains my edits. The manager, or the clerk, I'm sorry, sent that separately. So, when you're looking at the contract, make sure you're looking at the red line version.
Mayor,
What is the red line? We don't have that.
Oh, 1 second. Councilmember Spicer?
I would like to add my 2 cents in saying, I do believe, for me personally, I would like to have a study session. I didn't get this info until I got here tonight, so I was looking at something different earlier. And this puts a whole new spin on it. And in addition, I have some questions and concerns, and I don't think this is the appropriate forum to be asking all 20 of my questions.
Okay.
So I think a study session might be good.
Got Councilmember Brown.
Yeah, I agree with Councilmember Spicer. I think a study section is worthwhile. Councilmember French, just to be clear, the $40.50 a month, that's quarterly. That's a quarterly cost, right? Okay.
Quarterly.
Yeah, I just
sorry,
wanted
I
to,
misspoke.
I have it in front of me, but I know the audience doesn't, so I wanted them to know that that estimate is a quarterly cost, so.
Is there another comment or question over here?
And what would it be?
I think the, when the previous council discussed, I think we kind of reached a consensus that it was needed. You know, I think I'm fine with having a work session just to go over details, because I know when I've talked to people in public, or residents, that, you know, some people say, well, you know, I want to have the choice. You know, even if you don't have great choices, you know, they want to have the choice of at least picking their provider. But I do know, you know, if we could lower the costs, kind of in reference to what Councilmember French was saying, is we met, the manager and I, Jim and the former mayor, I believe, or maybe it was Harry, met with some of the providers, I want to say last year, or 2015, and the sense that we got was that if the longer your loyalty sometimes is not rewarded, so the longer you stay with a provider, actually you end up paying more. And so the idea was, you know, overall, to reduce costs across the city, but I think, you know, it's worth, you know, having that discussion again, if that's desired, so. Is there any particular information you need from us?
If you can get to me on what date, or if you want to determine now what date you would like to have the study session.
Could we do it just maybe like we did last time before the meeting?
Okay, and if you have any questions, if I could get those as soon as possible so we can be prepared to respond to those when we do have the session.
Okay. Councilman Rowe.
I'm sorry, I didn't quite hear you. Are we going to do the study session at 6 p.m. before the next council meeting? Or are we gonna poll the council first?
It was my understanding you wanted to poll.
Oh, okay.
I thought,
I was gonna suggest 6 o'clock, but would that work before the next meeting?
It just pushes
Is that
it
the
down 2
17th?
weeks.
Well, I think part of the thing is, if I remember, we couldn't start until April, though.
Right.
Oh, I understand that. but-
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we're gonna, you know,
We're gonna slow track it, that's
oh,
fine.
no, we're gonna move on. So,
So is everyone okay with Tuesday the 17th at 6 p.m.?
Oh, it's Veterans Day, isn't it?
MLK.
Or President's Day, I should say. MLK.
It's Martin Luther King Day.
Say the 17th at 6 p.m.
yeah, that works.
Okay.
Thank you. Seeing no other comments, we will move forward to agenda item B, discussion approval of Michigan Municipal League training, tentative date Saturday, February 4th, 2017. Well, I guess it's discussion. So,
I just wanted to get a confirmation. I believe we heard back from most of you, perhaps not Councilmember Lawler, if you were available that date and time.
Yes,
Okay,
I thought I responded.
okay.
If I didn't, yes, I am.
What's the time again?
the,
I believe it's 11 till 3.
Yeah, I should give, I guess, an explanation of what,
11 to 3.
of what this is. So, we have a new council, and then very shortly, we'll have some new people on city boards and commissions. And one of the things that I've noticed in the past is that there's been a lack of, I guess, formal training for I guess, civic leaders who are working in different areas of the city, on the boards or the council. So the Michigan Municipal League offers on-site trainings, and the training that they provide is a kind of how-to from kind of governance procedures to Open Meetings Act. So I thought it would be a good idea to bring this to the city, to allow council to participate in, and also all the other residents who are sitting on city boards. So we're basically setting a date to do that on Saturday, February 4th. So, yeah. Are there any other questions? Okay. Agenda item C, scheduling department tours and overview. City manager.
Yes, Mayor and Council, you have before you a sheet. We're trying to schedule an overview for you to meet all of the department heads and some of the employees, and actually have a tour of some of our facilities and buildings, as well as, just to get a better, more hands-on, bird's eye view of what happens in each of the departments and areas. So if you can get those back to me as soon as you can, we're trying to schedule them between the 17th and 31st, if at all possible, of this month.
Okay. Thank you. Agenda item D, request approval resolution number 2017-01, a resolution to approve sending a new public safety officer to the police academy. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Support.
Moved and supported. Discussion, questions, comments, or concerns from council? It's in the budget.
Yeah, it's, well,
Chief Scott Kipp, Albion Public Safety. This is a request for $9,200 to send an officer to the police academy. As you've seen, we've hired 5 people now in the last 6 months and had very few applications for these positions. I was lucky to be able to get 2 actual trained public safety officers that we've sworn in now in the last 3 months. But we sent 1 person to the police academy last fall. I'd requested for 2 positions, but we could only find 1 person at the time that could go. And so now I'm requesting that 2nd position for that, fill the final spot.
And then the funding for it.
That's the problem, because we
Okay.
didn't know, I mean, I was trying to hire people that have already been trained. We couldn't find anybody that was already trained, and so I couldn't budget for this back in September when we did the budget, not knowing whether or not we'd actually have this person or not. So I do everything I can to bring it out of my budget this year, but I can't promise that because it wasn't planned, so.
Okay.
And the problem we have is where last year, we were saving the money through not, or with people leaving and paying people at lower prices. We didn't budget for that this year because the positions have already been vacated, so.
Okay.
so essentially what this would be will be an assigned use of the fund balance. If it should come to that, we will still make every effort to make sure it comes out of just the general operations of the department. But just in case, it has to be designated as a budgeted item somewhere.
Okay. And then with the forfeiture, are those funds, could those be used for?
Generally, like I say, I have no forfeiture funds available at this time that would pay. We're very short on forfeiture funds right now. That's not to say we couldn't get some, and if I did, we could allocate those monies for that. But currently, right now, I wouldn't have that in my forfeiture budget, so.
And how many officers again?
How many total?
Yeah.
This would give us 18.
No, what,
Oh, to send?
yeah.
Just 1. We've got 1 position to fill. The person that we're looking to fill the position with, his name is William Lazarus. He's currently a corrections deputy with the Calhoun County Sheriff's Department. He was named Deputy of the Year last year. He grew up here in Albion. He went to school here in Albion. He lives over in Marshall right now. And it just happens to be Jim Leonardson's son.
Councilmember French.
The city's been able to save money in budgets because of retirements, and so this is a filling of those vacant positions. Do we have any anticipated retirements coming up?
I have two people that currently can retire, but they haven't given me any idea that they're going to, so I have no idea whether they will this year or not, so.
Thank you.
I think you have two goods here, right? You have basically trying to keep costs low and then also have properly trained officers.
Correct.
And so I'm willing to support it, but like I said, I'm going to be very, going to follow up and make sure that if we can, to cover that, because, you know, I know.
Oh, absolutely. And I think if you go back and look at public safety's budget, the reason the fund balance is where it's at is much of that money came out of the public safety budget by us not being over budget every single year. We've been well under budget most years. And in the past, I would have said easily I could cover $9,200, but we're pretty tight this year, so.
When's the last time we've sent someone to, or done a similar arrangement?
Last fall is when we sent Dan Riley to the police academy in September. The council approved for 2 spots at that time. We only sent 1, so.
Okay. So, when we approved it, but we didn't,
Well, last year I was in the position where we went a whole year without a position being filled, so I had plenty of money in the budget to cover for that.
Okay.
I haven't seen the final numbers for 2016 yet. My guess is that $9,200 is still available in 2016, which would go into the fund balance for 2017. And it was allocated to be spent last year, so we'd really just be spending money that moved into the fund balance for this year.
Okay.
Now, like I said, I haven't seen the final numbers, and I could be wrong on that, but,
Okay.
so.
Are there any questions from council? Seeing that,
I
Councilmember
don't have a
Brown.
question, just a comment. After those numbers are finalized, could we just get a follow-up? Because what I heard Chief Kip say was that the money, the 9,200 from 2016, you're asking that.
I'm hoping it's still in my,
you're
like I said,
hoping-
without knowing the
Right.
final numbers, I'm not sure, because with the payroll and overtime and stuff, it gets real close at the end of the year, but.
So I'm just asking if we can get a follow-up once those numbers have been finalized, so, okay.
Thank you. Thanks. Okay, there's been a motion and a second. I see no other. And, I think so. Okay, I will ask for a roll call vote.
Councilmember Reed,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Lawler,
Yes.
Spicer,
Yes.
French,
Yes.
and Mayor Brown.
Yes. Agenda item E, scheduling goal-setting sessions. I know in the past, we would do kind of city goal-setting closer, I guess, right before the budget, so it would coincide with, I guess, our allocations, but in recent years, we've also kind of had an early year session to kind of discuss where we want the city to go, so I'm assuming that is what this is.
So, wanted to get your input on, one, if that's an approach that you want to incorporate. And I also want to remind, all of the mayor and all of the council that with my contract, it does require that there is some goals established for me as city manager as well. So it makes sense that they would coincide. So, we'll be contacting you if this is the way you would like to proceed in regards to identifying a date, probably early to mid-February.
Are there any, Councilmember French?
I think I speak for most of us that we think this is a good idea.
Of course.
So I don't think this is.
It's just a scheduling.
Yeah, so, do we want to do it by doodle poll, or do we want to set it right here and right now, everybody look at their calendars and
We'll
pick it?
doodle you,
You'll doodle
yeah,
with more than one option.
of course.
Yeah.
Well, mostly.
Are there any other comments, questions, or concerns? Okay.
I have a question. Now, this
Councilmember Brown.
goal-setting session is both for the council goals and the city manager goals, or are those two separate meetings?
I think in in the past, what we've done, well, it's kind of overlapped anyway, because, you know, what the
City
city,
goals.
city goals are, I guess,
And then,
yeah, they overlap.
so I guess, and I'm just, I want to be clear, I don't know. The goals that you referenced by contract, you need goals as city manager, you're supposed to have those. So do those goals come out of this session, is what I'm asking?
There may be more than one session, but they will
Okay.
be related.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when we come into this session, we're setting city goals, which of course will overlap with, but at the end of this session, we may need to meet again in order to, okay, I
So,
just want to be.
for example, I know, like, in the past, we've met at the EDC building, and like, one goal might be, you know, finding a solution for the demolition of Dalrymple, right? Or, you know, instituting an evaluation process for staff. So those are things that council members have put on the table, and we've discussed them, and then kind of rank, you know, what are the key priorities, so.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Councilman French.
Mayor Brown, remind me, didn't we have 2 or 3?
I think we did.
Certainly in Cheryl Mitchell's first year, I think we had 2 or 3 before it was also.
Okay.
So yeah, this is not a one and done thing.
Okay.
And I think it would behoove us all to be revisiting those goals semi-annually. I know that our city manager will be up for an evaluation in the summer. Yeah, August, September, so it's a nice benchmark for us as a council to go, okay, so we set these goals in January, early February. We've ranked them, what progress has been made. Yeah.
Is there any way we could see the goals from last year, just to
they're
see?
planning this year,
Okay,
they'll
okay,
That's what I was gonna suggest, that
Okay.
it might be a good idea, because that would give them some ideas to what.
Okay.
Mayor,
Councilmember Spicer.
and even further, if there were goals that were there 2 years ago that haven't been met, can we see that as well? Because it may be something we may want to revisit now, or has she met those goals from 2 years ago?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that there's gonna be,
Things that carried over?
there's gonna be a detailed,
Okay, gotcha.
I guess, summary of what's taken place and what hasn't, and what's, yeah, so. Councilmember French.
Again, just for historical context, didn't we have some 1 to 2 year goals and some 1 to 3 year goals, or, you know?
Yeah, I
we
think-
sort of prioritize them based on you know, how long it's gonna take. So I think the Dalrymple demolition, I think, was a 3 to 5 year project.
Yeah.
We knew it was gonna be really
Yeah.
tough to be able to work quickly on that
Yeah,
project.
absolutely. So yeah, I think there's different dimensions to it, right? There's a time dimension, and then there's like an importance dimension, so. Yeah. So I think we're set, and we'll just do it like a doodle poll, and hopefully in February, 'cause I think that's when we did it last time. Okay, agenda item F, city manager report.
I apologize for my voice. I just want to point out first that there is a listing of the applications that we have received for the various boards and commissions. And I don't know if that is sufficient, or do you want to extend the deadline for applications?
I think, okay. I guess we can probably extend them, because I know the, so what do you guys think?
I guess first, do you want to extend the deadline for applications?
Yeah, I might do that.
Okay, so,
Today's the 3rd, so.
if we did it the 31st, would that give you enough time to make the appointments?
Well,
We have to do the background,
yeah,
February meeting?
well, then it kind of goes with the training, so the training's it's February 4th. And we want to give enough,
Saturday.
yeah, so we want to give enough time. And the next meeting is 17th. And I think we could. That would be probably on the, oh, I'm sorry, Councilmember French.
It was my understanding that at the February 4th meeting, you were looking to train not only the council, but offer training to our committee members.
Yes.
So wouldn't it behoove us perhaps to, instead of waiting until the 6th of February, could we have a special meeting on the 30th, right? We got 5 Mondays in January. So there's 2 weeks there that we could be doing things with regard to getting your committee sort of together. So could we meet like on the 30th in a special meeting to do those appointments, and that way they can be part of the training on the 4th
Yeah, absolutely, that's fine.
instead of waiting till the 6th?
Yeah.
There goes my vacation, but okay,
Well, then how about okay, so then how about the 23rd?
it's fine.
Then the 23rd. I mean, we've got, again, 5 Mondays. We could do it the week of the 23rd if our city manager's going on a well-deserved vacation. I don't want her to miss a vacation
Right.
days.
I don't either.
I haven't booked anything, it's okay.
No.
So, I'm fine, with the 23rd. Yeah.
So
So
the
they could-
23rd is the deadline date?
Well, see,
Or
that's
is
the,
that a meeting,
Well, if we made the,
special meeting for appointment?
well, actually,
right,
Okay,
what we should do is probably set the 16th as the deadline, or, that's Tuesday, I'm sorry.
17th.
Or, is it the,
17th is the next council meeting? Yeah, we could do that.
yeah, because you have to have time for
Right.
review again, we go through
Yeah.
that process.
Then that goes in the package to us on the 18th or 19th. We have a special meeting on the 23rd to appoint them.
I think how long could how long does it take to do the background? It takes a minute, right?
Just depends on how quickly they get them out.
Okay. So yeah, we'll set the deadline for the 16th, 17th, I'm sorry. And,
Mayor Brown.
make appointments to, Councilmember Lawler.
Is there, anything in the charter or the state federal level charter that says a, council member cannot be a part of the DDA?
From what I've read, I don't know all of the, I do know planning has to be 8 members who are residents of the city, and then perhaps 1 out of the city. I think DDA has some requirements regarding, property interests in there. I didn't see anything in the statute about, a limit on number of council people on there, but that's something we can have the attorney look into and give us an answer. But, so, yeah. So, are there any other questions? So in terms of just a timeline here, the due date would be on the 17th, and then we can make appointments on or council can approve appointments on the 23rd.
Special meeting at 7 o'clock?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, so we'll do it that way.
okay. All right, and again, I want to remind you, if you can turn in your availability for the tours and information sessions for the departments to me at your earliest convenience. Albion Building Authority completed the lease arrangements for 201 North Clinton, and it will be housing Edward Jones as soon as they complete the conversion. What you also have before you is the draft of the first quarterly report for the redevelopment ready community progress report. And if you have any questions or comments, feel free to let me know. We will be submitting that before the deadline of January 6th. And I want to thank both Danielle Nelson as well as Amy Dupre from EDC, who have been doing a great deal of assistance in terms of compiling that information, along with John Tracy from Planning Building Department as well. In regards to the Economic Development Corporation, on January 12th, from 8 to 11, they're having their work session in terms of their own goals and vision, and it will be held at Albion College at Upper Baldwin. It is a meeting that is open to the public, so you're invited to attend. Their regular meeting, which would have been February 5th, has been canceled. Also, the Economic Development Corporation has taken some new initiatives. One of them will be the second Tuesday of each month, and they'll have a partnership with the Southwest Small Business Development Center of Michigan, and they'll offer counseling to entrepreneurs and business owners. Then on February 20th, they will have a workshop on starting a restaurant or a food service business, and that workshop is free, thanks to the sponsorship of Homestead Savings Bank. The Greater Albion Chamber, they elected their new officers, so we welcome Jason Cox as the board chairman, Trevor Shedd as the board treasurer, Kelly Rice, board vice chair, and Marvin Putvin, board secretary, and I was added as a new board member. The annual meeting will be March 28th at Duck Lake Country Club. It has a Mardi Gras theme. I also listed the dates for the next AIDS and Issues breakfasts. That's a great place to get information from a number of organizations in and around Albion. Also, the chamber is refocusing on events that are bringing people to Albion, especially for weekend-long events. But that also means, excuse me, they will not be participating in some of their standard events. The Cardboard Classic, Canoe the Kazoo, and Famous at the Forks. We are trying to see what we can do with our own departments in terms of the Cardboard Classic. It might be in February instead of January, or we're at least trying to see if there's something we can do. It might not be the same type of event, but something that would incorporate sledding down the hill so that everyone enjoys that so thoroughly. So we'll be working on that, like Chief Kip and Larry Williams, who doesn't know that yet. Okay. Albion College is hosting a networking session in Lansing on January 17th, and they will be meeting with policymakers, government and legislative experts, and they've been invited Mayor Brown and Mayor Pro Tem Brown, as well as EDC CEO Amy Praise to be there to introduce them and start making those connections as well. Marshall Public Schools is planning to hold a special meeting on January 23rd at the Marshall Opportunity School, and they will be providing, as I understand it, an overview of what's been happening since annexation and what's especially happening with Albion students in general, and particularly at what's the name of the school? Harrington. Thank you. The Recreation Department is doing some phenomenal things. Right now, they're getting ready to start up the youth basketball program that resumes on January 7th. The league games will start on January 14th. Water aerobics, ever popular, will be offered starting through February 9th at 6:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. And there's a new program, Modern Dance and Creative Movement Workshop, that's offered from January 9th to February 8th from 6:30 to 8:30. So those are some of the things that are going on.
Thank you. Councilmember French?
Do we have a time and for the January 23rd meeting of the Marshall Public Schools?
I couldn't find it.
Okay.
Most of the meetings are at 7. I went to their website today, so I'm waiting on an official invitation. So as soon as I get that information, I'll share it with you.
Thank you.
Councilmember Brown? Oh, okay. Let's see. Are there any future agenda items that council members would like to discuss?
Aside from the single hauler?
Yeah, I think we've set the work session for that. No other future, okay. Agenda item H, motion to excuse absent council members.
So moved.
Moved and supported. All those in favor, it's not voice vote there, but does that need to be a voice vote?
Yeah.
Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay, citizens' comments. These are general citizens' comments. Shall limit their comments to no more than 5 minutes. We're asking for proper decorum. Please state your name and address. If you want.
Good evening. I'm Al Smith, 1209 Adams Street. Mr. Mayor, council members, ladies and gentlemen. I just wish to log my opposition to the single carrier proposal that's going on. That probably won't mean much, but when you do go into your next session, please, things I'd like you to think about. that you have probably negotiated what seems like a good contract. I hope you will consider that once you are locked into a single carrier, what's your negotiating position going to be when it comes to future rate hikes? Okay. And also, I'd like to question, is there a place where we citizens can see this proposal and the numbers that are being thrown around? Or is this just something that only the council is allowed to see?
Oh, no,
Well,
actually,
I don't
it's-
think,
yeah.
Well, I appreciate that, Mr. French, but is there someplace the citizens can go to see this? Not just you handing it to me?
Okay, well, we
We can
can,
post it on the website if that'll make it.
That would be wonderful. I'm sure everyone would consider it. I'll let you have this back, sir.
I don't need it, it's the third copy I have.
Okay, thank you. And also, Mr. French had mentioned that this would start in April. Myself and a number of my neighbors and other people around town, we have contracts that are already paid through the end of the year. Who's going to negotiate getting our money back? I'm sure they don't want to talk to me about that. I'll be on hold for days.
I'm not sure what waste hauler you have. Are you paying
Waste
in
management.
advance? Are you paying in advance?
Yes. Yeah, we pay a year in advance to get the best rate.
Okay.
And I'm paid through the end of 2017, as a number of my neighbors are.
okay.
You're a rare bird. But, yeah.
Well,
I hear you.
not so rare in my area, I guess. I don't know. People I've talked to around town seem to have the same feeling.
Right.
Okay. Again, I know things seem to be lumped together here. Myself and my wife are people who compost. All of our leaves, our grass clippings and everything, we compost. We don't want yard waste removal. But am I still going to have to pay for that?
Yep.
Okay, that seems a bit unfair. Because I don't want it, I don't use it, why should I pay for it? Something I'd like you to consider there. My last comment goes to Councilwoman Lawler. Madam, thank you so much for remembering veterans. Have a good evening. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much. Are there any other citizen comments? Good evening.
Elverine Showers, 805 Valhalla Drive. As the gentleman stated earlier, we also have paid the waste people for the year, and it's a good plan. But then my thing is, why are you taking our freedom of choice away? You get one carrier, yeah, they're good for you for 3 years, and then they hike up the price. Are you able to come out of that, be able to negotiate somebody else to come in? What? Because, see, you can't say what the future is going to hold. They're going to hike it up, too. They're just being good to get the contract, and then after that, they're going to hike it up just like the rest of them do. Everybody got a gas clause. They put in every time the gas go up, but they don't put it down when the gas go down. You know, it's always something. Why are we always taxed? And why are you taking our freedom away? I don't understand that. When I go somewhere, I take a couple change of clothes, so I have a choice. You know, I have a choice to serve God or not serve God. I have a choice. But then y'all come here and say, you got this, and that's it. Where's the choice? Where's the freedom? Where? Is this how Albion gonna be from now on? I have to pay for somebody else's water bill when they leave out my apartment, my houses. You know, there's no choice. Now you're gonna put a tax on me with some rental tax. What's next? What are you gonna do? Continue to tax the city of Albion, the people that live here? What? We don't have a choice no more? Just y'all make the decisions and that's it? Or somebody else come in and make the decisions for us and that's it? You know, I don't see that. I see something going down a wrong path, and we need to stop it now. I don't want just y'all to make the decisions for me. I want to be able to say I want it or I don't want it. If I don't want this carrier, I can go to this carrier. But if you say one hauler, man, we stuck. We stuck. And if this is what City of Albion finna do, to take away all of our choices as we go down the road, something wrong with this city and something wrong with leadership. So I don't agree with the one hauler. I agree with two, But when you taking my choice away, I don't see that.
Thank you. Are there any additional citizen comments?
Mr. Mayor, council members, City Manager Mitchell, residents of the City of Albion, certainly good evening. My name is Gary Tompkins, and I am your County Commissioner for the 7th District. Just wanted to take the opportunity to wish each and every one of you a Happy New Year, and hopefully your New Year is off to a great start. Normally in this segment, as I would normally come before you and report on the events and happenings, certainly at the county, but being since our first meeting isn't officially until Thursday, I wanted to take an opportunity to speak to you very briefly about some of the beliefs, some of the things you'll expect to hear from me as I communicate to each one of you, or each of you, if you will, at each of your meetings. What you're going to find from me is that I'm very brief, short, and to the point. I believe that listening is the key. That's one of the things that many politicians don't do, is they don't do a lot of listening, they do a lot of talking, so I'll take the opportunity to listen very intently to what you have to say. Also, too, I believe that actions speak louder than words, because that is in fact the truth. And quite frankly, our success, or everyone's success, is determined by many hands and not just one individual. And I hope to be one of those many hands to help you towards your ongoing success and revitalization here in the City of Albion. So certainly that opportunity as well. In the coming days, I'm going to be unveiling some communicative methods that hopefully will ensure and will make you feel more comfortable in feeling connected to the county that maybe you haven't had in the past. So hopefully stay tuned for that as I bring that forth. And again, if you need anything, please feel free to contact me. All of you have my contact information, and I certainly welcome your phone call, your email, or any other communicative methods, because remember, I am here for you as part of the process. And you know, and just in finishing, I just want to take the opportunities. I'm looking forward to working with each and every one of you on a terrific and fantastic 2017. So again, thank you, Mr. Mayor and council members. Appreciate it and look forward to working with you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Are there any, Dr. Dobbins.
Good evening, Council. I'm here this evening representing the Albion Reinvestment Corporation, which I was committed to making sure that you're kept up to speed. Just to refresh your memory, the Albion Reinvestment Corporation, or will be known as ARC, is a 501c3 whose mission statement is to redevelop the downtown of Albion. Pure and simple, that's what it is. And so in the past, you've heard conversations about Forks Associates, might be a term that you've heard. That was sort of the predecessor of ARC. Forks Associates has now been dissolved, and the assets that were within Forks Associates are now part of the Albion Reinvestment Corp. So we've simplified it. It's down to one organization, which is thrilling to me as we've tried to juggle both of these organizations over the last year. If you will recall, and I'm not sure if it was old council, new council, but at the end of last year, the Calhoun County Land Bank presented the new contract to council, and you supported that. And so I'm here to report that that has been signed and executed, and were requested that they give quarterly updates to council, and I know that they intend to do that. Also, 2 of the properties that were held by the Calhoun County Land Bank, meaning that it was off the tax roll, have been returned to the tax roll, which is, again, the long-term plan of each one of these. So the Boost Mobile Store and the 111 South Superior Street, where the antique shop is, now are considered, again, occupied and returned, and again, are properties of ARC at this point. Also within that agreement was that ARC agreed, as part of this the agreement with the Calhoun County Land Bank, that there would be significant progress made in at least 1 or 2 storefronts in the properties that are held. And so with that 117 and 119 South Superior, which are the two storefronts to the closest to the BOEM on the north side of the BOEM, are the ones that will be targeted for redevelopment. I shouldn't say redevelopment, because how far we get, what we're determined to do is make significant improvements and progress in those storefronts, okay? The other thing is that, and again, I think I have the address right, 215 North Superior, which would be, excuse me, 215 South Superior. Yeah, 215 South Superior, which is the old jewelry store, okay? Whatever the number is. The old jewelry store, which would be south of Illusions, okay, is now the property of ARC. That was given to ARC by Dr. Sam Shaheen, and that has a quitclaim deed, though, again, it's not part of the Calhoun County Land Bank Agreement, so it is on the tax rolls, okay? The other thing that will be happening in 2017 is the Sanders Building, which is presently owned by Dr. Shaheen, is going to be given to ARC, and ARC will be doing a mixed commercial and residential project in ARC, or excuse me, in that building, and ARC will spearhead that. Now, and the truth of the matter is, at this point, ARC doesn't have the money to do that, so obviously we'll take some fundraising from interested individuals interested in the rehabilitation and revitalization of the downtown. There are preliminary drawings of that project. It would include, as you may well know, it's a 3-floor building, 6 apartments on each the second and the third floor, and then a commercial space on the first floor, targeted at this point as a restaurant. And so that's the concept of what we have. Now, I know council and I know the mayor is concerned that would be held by a 501c3, and this can be an ongoing conversation. The model for this, and this is something Dr. Shaheen has been involved in the past, is to have a income generating property within ARC to continue its ability to reinvest in the community. So the plan is, again, to redevelop it. It becomes a income generating property. It obviously will have debt, which it has to cover, and it will have regular revenue that will fulfill the mission of continuing to invest in the downtown. The other alternative would be is that somebody comes along and says, I love that building, I love that project, it generates great cash flow, and ARC would be open to selling that building to an investor and taking those funds and then reinvesting those funds back into the community. So that's where ARC stands. Again, Albion Reinvestment Corporation. I am the president. Amy DePries is the executive director, and she fills both roles with the EDC and with ARC, and that's still someone in transition as she gets up to speed with the EDC. And so at this point, what little does get done gets done through me. And but we're gonna get. It's going to be a busy year, and there's going to be a lot of stuff going on. So my plan is to come to council on a regular basis and to keep you informed and updated and transparent with our plans. And I look forward to any feedback that you have to me regarding the projects that we will be spearheading in the downtown. So thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other or any additional city or citizens' comments this evening? Okay. Seeing none, we will move forward with a motion for adjournment. Is there a motion?
Support.
Moved and supported. This is for adjournment. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Thank you, we are adjourned.
Also, you get to leave unless I can hear you.
She couldn't